Welcome to the Kenya Wantam Note Movement, KWM podcast.
Hello.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really powerful perspectives on Kenya's future.
That's right. These come directly from the heart of the Kenya Wantam Note movement, or KWM.
Yeah, you've sent us some very compelling material from them. Specifically, we're looking at their article, the one titled, What Will Save Kenya? 2027 Elections. No, Kenya must go the Burkina Faso way.
Quite a title. And our mission today really is to unpack KWM's core argument here.
Which is?
Well, why they believe the upcoming 2027 elections just won't bring the necessary change Kenya needs.
Okay.
And crucially, what alternative path they're actually proposing. We'll be focusing, entirely on the insights and calls to action presented within their own materials.
Right, just helping you, the listener, understand their specific vision for the nation.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. That title alone, as you said, sets a pretty bold tone. It points to a very specific direction for change.
It certainly does.
So what is it that KWM says about Kenya's current situation that makes them believe 2027 won't be the answer? Where do they start?
Well, KWM's article kicks off with a pretty strong critique. It paints this picture of Kenya's struggle stretching back over 60 years.
60 years. So what are the key issues they're highlighting? What's led to this feeling of, broken promises and wasted potential they talk about?
KWM asserts that Kenya's journey, pretty much since independence, has been consistently marked by, corrupt leadership.
Okay.
And unfulfilled promises for over 6 decades, they argue.
Right.
A really central point they make is the persistent presence of what they actually call the same old leaders.
Oh, okay. Do they name names?
They do. They explicitly mention figures like Raila, Ruto, Kalonzo, Uhuru, Matiang'i, Gachagua, Karua, E.Wamalwa, and Justin Muturi.
A familiar list to many.
Indeed. And KWM argues these individuals, having been in positions of power for, so long.
Decades in some cases.
Exactly. They've had ample opportunity to bring about positive change. But instead, KWM claims these leaders have enriched themselves, their families, their cronies.
While the country struggles?
That's the picture they paint, yes. Leaving the majority struggling.
That's certainly a very strong accusation KWM is making there. How do they then illustrate the consequences, the tangible impact of this alleged leadership failure?
Right. What's the real world impact?
Yeah. How does it show up in the daily lives of ordinary Kenyans, according to KWM's perspective?
KWM really delves into the practical fallout. They detail how these leaders, they argue, have consistently failed to address basic needs. We're talking healthcare, education, economic development.
Well, fundamentals.
The absolute fundamentals. They provide some vivid examples from the ground. Millions of Kenyans, KWM notes, still live in, quote, grass-thatched homes.
Still, in this day and age.
That's what KWM reports. Lacking access to proper healthcare facilities or quality education. The movement emphasizes that the promises made over the years for better living conditions, for opportunities have, in their view, just never materialized.
Creating a sense of disillusionment, I imagine.
Profound disillusionment, yeah. Especially about future electoral promises.
And KWM uses some particularly striking imagery here, don't they? I remember reading about politicians in expensive air-conditioned SUVs.
Yes, driving past people surrounded by, quote, mountains of garbage and dusty roads.
It creates such a stark contrast.
It does, and KWM uses these details quite dramatically to underscore their argument that the political elite, lacks shame.
It is disconnected.
Profoundly disconnected from the public's reality, according to KWM. They elaborate further on what they describe as a dire state of infrastructure and services.
Like what specifically?
For instance, KWM reports that hospitals are in disrepair with no doctors, nurses, or essential medicines.
That's critical.
Absolutely. And children, they claim, are still learning under trees without proper classrooms or teachers.
Still learning under trees.
That's the image they use. And farmers, too, despite being, the backbone of the economy.
Yeah.
They're depicted as struggling to make ends meet without meaningful government support. It paints a picture of a nation where essential services for the average citizen have really crumbled.
Under sustained neglect is the implication.
That seems to be KWM's view, yes. Sustained neglect.
And their critique goes beyond just public services, right?
Yeah.
KWM also points to the collapse of key industries.
Yes, and this is interesting. KWM connects industrial decline directly to alleged patterns of corruption.
How so?
They cite specific examples: KCC, Kisumu Breweries, Rivitex, Pan Paper, and Weibai.
Big names.
Big names, yeah. They state that these and many other companies have gone under in less than 60 years of independence.
And the connection to corruption.
Well, KWM implies this decline was either orchestrated or simply allowed to happen so that, quote, corrupt elites could buy some of them.
Ah, I see.
This, KWM argues, demonstrates a consistent pattern where the elites have, in their words, stolen from the public, built vast fortunes.
While the average Kenyan gets left behind.
Gets left with nothing, is how KWM puts it. It's a really key part of their historical narrative of disillusionment.
Okay, so given this whole assessment, the history, the current state of services, industry, it starts to become clearer why KWM would argue that the 2027 elections won't bring change.
Exactly.
What's their core reasoning there? Why are elections not the solution, in their view?
KWM's central thesis, really, is that continuing to vote for these same faces, well, it won't magically solve your problems.
Because nothing has changed so far.
Pretty much. They contend that the political elites, having been so deeply embedded in the system for decades, inherently have no new solutions to offer.
Right.
They've, in KWM's view, watched the country slip deeper into crisis while, living in luxury themselves.
So the crucial point is?
The crucial point KWM makes is that figures like Raila, Ruto, and Kalonzo can't fix what they've been part of for so long.
You can't expect them to suddenly change.
That's the argument. They shouldn't realistically be expected to change their ways now. Hoping for a different outcome from the exact same players is, as KWM suggests, maybe nothing more than a mirage.
Okay, so according to KWM, the old guard isn't the solution. They must have an alternative vision, right?
Yeah, they do.
What do they propose as the real solution for Kenya's future?
KWM is emphatic here. They state the answer will not come from the established politicians.
Not at all.
Not at all. Instead, they urge Kenyans to look beyond the elites.
Beyond the usual suspects.
Exactly. For KWM, the solution lies with a different kind of leader altogether. Someone who is not part of this corrupt system.
Okay.
A selfless individual, they say, who is truly committed to rebuilding this country for the people. It's a call for a fundamental break from the past.
A radical break, it sounds like.
Very much so, emphasizing integrity and genuine public service above all else.
And this is where that phrase, the Burkina Faso way, comes into their argument, isn't it?
Yes, precisely.
KWM mentions specific figures, both historical and contemporary, as inspiration. Could you elaborate on who they're referring to?
Yeah, they do.
And what qualities they admire in these leaders?
So in advocating for this new path, KWM draws parallels with transformative leadership seen elsewhere, specifically Burkina Faso. They cite Thomas Sankara.
The revolutionary leader.
Yes. KWM describes him as a figure who would put the needs of the people first. They really hold him up as an example. Someone who wouldn't enrich themselves, but would fight tirelessly.
To ensure what?
To ensure hospitals are better equipped, the schools are functional, and the economy works for every citizen, not just the elites. That's the ideal they present.
Okay. And they mention another name, too.
They also mention Ibrahim Traoré, a more contemporary leader from Burkina Faso. KWM sees him as representing what they call a new breed of leadership.
And what does that mean to KWM?
Well, Traoré, in KWM's view, embodies a willingness to confront the status quo and fight for true change. Someone who will, quote, stand up to the corrupt politicians.
So these figures, Sankara, Traoré, they represent the kind of leadership KWM thinks Kenya needs.
They're the embodiment of the radical departure from self-serving leadership that KWM believes Kenya urgently needs, yes.
So if we pull all this together, KWM isn't just asking for new policies, they're really calling for a complete paradigm shift in the very nature of leadership itself.
Precisely. It's about the type of leader. KWM expresses this profound hope, saying, may God raise a leader from the people.
From the people, specifically.
Yes, someone who has never been part of the corrupt elite. That's crucial for them. Someone who will bring about the change that this country desperately needs.
It really highlights their call for a truly grassroots, uncompromised leader.
Absolutely. Someone embodying selflessness and a deep dedication to the people above any personal gain or, political maneuvering. Their vision emphasizes a leader emerging organically from the populace itself.
Now, the urgency in their message seems like a major theme for KWM. They declare the time for change is now, not 2027.
Yes, that urgency is palpable.
Why do they emphasize such an immediate need for action? Why not wait for the election cycle?
KWM warns very starkly that Kenya cannot wait until 2027 for change.
Why not?
Their argument is that the country is on the brink of collapse. That's strong language.
It is.
With millions still living in abject poverty without basic services, all while the political elite, they claim, continues to thrive.
So waiting is dangerous, in their view.
Their perspective seems to be that waiting for the next election will be too late, because the current system, as they see it, is not serving you. It's serving the few who have corrupted the system.
Implying the trajectory is just unsustainable.
Exactly. It suggests a belief that the current path demands immediate and decisive intervention, not from the politicians, but from the people.
Okay, so KWM isn't just pointing out problems or diagnosing the situation. They're very clearly trying to put the power back into the hands of the people.
Very much so.
What specific action do they believe you, the listener, the Kenyan citizen, should actually take right now?
KWM's call is, well, pretty unequivocal. Reject the old guard and demand better.
Reject and demand.
Yes. They emphasize that Kenya needs leaders who will fight for you, not for themselves. And the time to act on that is right now, not waiting for 2027.
They really stress that time frame.
They do. They stress that Kenya cannot afford another 60 years of broken promises and failed leadership. Their materials directly challenge the listener, posing a stark choice.
Which is?
Will you continue to allow the elites to control your destiny? Or will you rise up and demand better for yourself and your future generations?
It's a very direct call to action.
It's a clear, impassioned mandate for active participation and really self-determination.
So it sounds like KWM believes the ultimate solution to Kenya's challenges lies squarely with the people themselves, maybe even outside the traditional political structures they critique.
Yeah, and then KWM addresses that crucial question. Okay, how do you actually facilitate such a profound shift?
All right, what's the plan?
They outline their broader focus areas, which seem to underpin their entire vision for societal transformation. They articulate these as 3 pillars.
The 3 pillars.
Yes. Fight against ignorance education, fight against impunity accountable leadership, and fight against poverty economics.
Ignorance, impunity, poverty.
Those are the targets. And KWM presents these not just as slogans, but as a comprehensive approach to rebuild society from the ground up, moving beyond just thinking about election cycles.
A more holistic approach.
Exactly. And they make it unequivocally clear where the power lies. They say the solution lies with you.
With the individual citizen.
Yes. They want you to believe that you deserve better, and ultimately it's up to you to make it happen.
This deep dive into the Kenya Wantum Notum movement's perspective, it really highlights the power they place on collective action and the potential for new ideas to maybe transform a nation.
It certainly presents a distinct viewpoint.
And if you, listening, are interested in being part of this specific call for change that KWM is making, we encourage you to visit www.wantumnotum.com and create your account.
That's right. KWM invites you to start sharing your ideas that can help change your village, city, and nation through their platform.
Okay, so we've really taken a deep dive today into this powerful message from the Kenya Wantum Notum movement.
We have.
It's a clear, pretty urgent call for a different path for Kenya, away from what they see as, decades of failed leadership,
Right.
towards a future inspired by these transformative figures they mentioned and driven, in their view, by the collective will of the people.
And what's particularly compelling, I think, from their materials is KWM's unwavering belief that the true solution lies in rejecting the status quo now.
Not waiting.
Not waiting. Actively demanding selfless leadership now rather than waiting for another election. Their emphasis on the Burkina Faso way provides that tangible example for them of the type of decisive people-first leadership they believe Kenya urgently needs.
So wrapping up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? KWM really asks you to consider a fundamental question, don't they?
They do.
Will you continue to wait for the same politicians, the ones KWM critiques, to promise you change? Or, as KWM urges, will you rise up and demand that Kenya finally lives up to the promise of independence?
A promise they believe has been deferred for far too long.
Exactly.
And this leaves us, perhaps, with an important thought for you to mull over, stemming from KWM's analysis.
Okay.
If KWM's assessment is accurate from their perspective, and Kenya truly requires a Thomas Sankara or Ibrahim Traore type of leader to emerge, what specific practical actions or strategies, building on KWM's own principles of fighting ignorance, impunity, and poverty, could genuinely bring such a leader forward from the people?
Outside the existing political structures they criticize so heavily.
Precisely. How could that actually happen on the ground, according to the framework KWM provides? It's something to think about.
It definitely is. We hope this deep dive has given you a clearer understanding of the Kenya Wantam Notam movement's passionate call for change, as presented in their own words.
Yes, laying out their arguments and their proposed solutions.
And if you do feel inspired to engage with these ideas further, remember KWM's invitation. Visit www.wantamnotam.com and create your account.
Start sharing your ideas that can help change your village, city, and nation. That's their platform.
Thank you for listening to the Kenya Wantam Notam Movement, KWM podcast.